The Indianapolis Colts are heading into a crucial campaign with an offense that looks largely familiar, but one massive, glaring hole remains. After trading away franchise cornerstone Michael Pittman Jr. to the Steelers, the front office has left young speedster Alec Pierce to shoulder the heavy burden of the #1 receiver role. With Daniel Jones under center trying to recapture the magic of last year's blistering 8-2 start, the pressure is mounting. National analysts are now screaming for general manager Chris Ballard to make an aggressive, franchise-altering trade for a superstar weapon to save this passing game. A.J. Brown is the superstar target currently fueling trade rumors, presenting a tantalizing scenario where the Philadelphia Eagles' elite wideout reunites with Colts head coach Shane Steichen. The connection here isn't just wild media speculation, it's rooted in a highly successful history. When Steichen was running the offense in Philadelphia, Brown was the crown jewel of that passing attack, terrorizing defensive backs with his rare blend of elite size, physical route running, and explosive run-after-catch ability. For an Indianapolis offense that is currently asking Alec Pierce to transition from a deep threat specialist into a high-volume true #1 receiver, bringing in a proven commodity like Brown would instantly transform this unit from a question mark into a legitimate AFC powerhouse. Looking back at Brown's career, his consistency is nothing short of remarkable, making he exactly the kind of battle-tested veteran a quarterback like Daniel Jones needs to sustain success over a grueling 17-game season. Since entering the league, Brown has been a model of high-end production, never catching fewer than 52 passes or recording under 869 yards in any single season. His career totals are the stuff of defensive coordinators' nightmares: 524 receptions, over 8,000 receiving yards, and 56 touchdowns across 105 games. Even last season, amidst a somewhat turbulent year for the Eagles' offense, Brown still hauled in 78 catches for over 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns, securing yet another Pro Bowl nod. He is a physical, old-school receiver who thrives on contact and wins contested catches in the dirty areas of the field. The exact kind of blue-collar player that Indianapolis fans have loved since the days of Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison. If the Colts could somehow find a way to insert his 3 Pro Bowls and 3 second-team All-Pro credentials into this lineup, defenses would no longer be able to crowd the box against Jonathan Taylor, opening up the entire playbook for Steichen to dial up the explosive vertical concepts he loves so much. This offense, led by Daniel Jones, was absolutely decimating defenses and putting up league-best numbers last year until the wheels fell off after an 8-2 start, proving that the foundation is there but desperately lacks the elite personnel required to sustain high-level performance. However, as exciting as this hypothetical connection looks on paper, the cold, hard business reality of the NFL makes a potential trade for Brown an incredibly steep hill for the Colts to climb. The financial hurdles alone are enough to give any seasoned front office executive pause, as Brown is currently playing under a massive 3-year, $96 million contract extension that runs all the way through the 2029 season. While Indianapolis currently boasts a healthy amount of salary cap space, taking on a contract of that magnitude represents a massive long-term financial commitment that could severely limit Ballard's ability to extend homegrown talent down the road. But the real roadblock isn't just the salary cap, it's the sheer lack of premium draft capital required to pry an elite, top-5 receiver away from a ruthless negotiator like Eagles general manager Howie Roseman. The Colts simply do not have the draft assets to pull off another blockbuster deal of this scale right now, largely because they already pushed all their chips to the middle of the table last season when they traded away their 2026 and 2027 first-round draft picks in that stunning move to acquire cornerback Sauce Gardner. Without those valuable first-rounders to offer, any trade package for Brown would require the Colts to completely dismantle their remaining mid-round draft capital or sacrifice key young players from their current roster, which goes entirely against Ballard's long-standing philosophy of draft and develop. For a general manager who has historically treated draft picks like gold, giving up even more future assets after already trading away 2 first-rounders would be an unprecedented gamble that could leave the franchise completely crippled if the team doesn't win a Super Bowl immediately. We have to remember that this is a make-or-break year for both Ballard and Steichen, and while they desperately need to win games right now to secure their jobs, they must also operate within a realistic space that doesn't completely bankrupt the organization's future. If trading for an expensive superstar like Brown is ultimately a bridge too far, The Colts must look at more realistic veteran options on the open market to prevent this wide receiver room from collapsing under the weight of expectation. Writers like Christopher Knox have rightly pointed out that the scrap pile of veteran free agency offers some highly intriguing, cost-effective alternatives that wouldn't require trading away future draft capital. Elite names like Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs, or even an aggressive pursuit of a versatile weapon like Deebo Samuel could provide the Colts with the proven playmaker they so desperately need. Right now, the depth chart behind Alec Pierce is incredibly thin and unproven, leaving Daniel Jones with very few reliable targets when the play breaks down. The Colts did draft Deion Burks in the 7th round of the recent draft, and while scouts are certainly intrigued by his raw speed and playmaking potential, it would be a massive mistake to pressure a late-round rookie into playing a major role in this offense right out of the gate. History tells us that 7th-round wide receivers face a steep learning curve in the NFL, and expecting Burks to immediately replicate the production of a departed veteran like Michael Pittman Jr. is simply setting the young man up for failure. What this offense truly needs is a veteran presence, a reliable third-down chain mover who understands how to find the soft spots in zone coverage and can act as a safety valve for Jones when opposing pass rushes get hot. Whether that comes in the form of Keenan Allen's legendary route-running precision or Stephon Diggs' ability to stretch the field, bringing in a seasoned pro is non-negotiable if the Colts want to avoid another late-season collapse like the one they suffered last year after their hot 8-2 start. Ballard has always been a patient executive, but with the pressure mounting in Indianapolis, he cannot afford to sit on his hands and hope that internal development alone will solve a glaring roster deficiency that every opposing defensive coordinator in the AFC South is already planning to exploit. To truly appreciate why this wide receiver situation is so critical, we have to look at how Shane Steichen's offensive system relies on having a physical mismatch on the outside. In Steichen's scheme, the run-pass option is the bread and butter of the offense, which means the boundary receivers must be exceptionally physical blockers in the run game while also possessing the suddenness to break off routes quickly when the quarterback pulls the ball to throw. When Pittman was on the roster, his physical blocking and tough contested catch style allowed the Colts to run their offense with high efficiency, keeping opposing defenses honest and off balance. Now with Pittman in Pittsburgh, Alec Pierce will be forced to transition into a completely different role than the one he has played throughout his young career, where he was primarily utilized as a deep threat vertical decoy. While Pierce certainly has the raw athletic tools and size to succeed, expecting him to suddenly transform into a high-volume, short to intermediate weapon who can carry the entire passing offense on his back is a massive projection that could easily backfire if he struggles to adapt. That is precisely why adding a veteran who has already proven he can play in this style of system is so vital for Daniel Jones' development and overall stability. If Chris Ballard chooses to do nothing and enters training camp with this current, unproven group, he is essentially gambling his entire career on the hope that Pierce can make an unprecedented leap and that a 7th-round rookie can play like a seasoned veteran. It is a highly risky gamble that a veteran football mind like Ballard should know better than to take, especially when there are still quality options available on the market who are eager to sign with a competitive team. Ultimately, the decisions made in the coming weeks will define the trajectory of this Indianapolis Colts season and determine whether Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard can secure their futures with the franchise. Look, we all know football is won in the trenches, but in today's modern NFL, you simply cannot win a damn thing if you don't have guys on the outside who can consistently catch the football, create separation, and make plays after the catch. Relying on a 7th-round rookie like Deion Burks and praying that Alec Pierce can suddenly transform into an elite, high-volume target is an incredibly dangerous gamble for a coaching staff and front office that are essentially fighting for their lives. Ballard needs to make a move, whether it's an incredibly aggressive, low-probability swing for a superstar like A.J. Brown, or a much more realistic, fiscally responsible signing of a proven veteran like Keenan Allen or Stephon Diggs. This fan base has been incredibly patient through the ups and downs of the post-Andrew Luck era, but that patience is wearing thin, and another late-season collapse like last year's 8-2 slide will not be tolerated. The front office must give Daniel Jones the weapons he needs to succeed, or they will be looking for new jobs come next January. But now, we want to hear from you. Do you think Chris Ballard should push all his remaining chips to the middle of the table and make a blockbuster run for A.J. Brown? Or is it smarter to target a veteran free agent like Keenan Allen or Stephon Diggs to solidify this young wide receiver room? Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments section below. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more raw, no-nonsense NFL analysis. We'll see you in the next one.